You're still
No,
muted.
we're not muted anymore. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. And welcome
It's Wednesday.
to Wednesday before Halloween.
Already.
It is time for the second live discussion for the Ghost Tree. But first, Talia has an anthem she would like to perform for you.
It's going to be shorter.
It's perfect. Hi, Gina and Monica, Tammy, Gina and Joe, Nicole and Julie. Hi, Emily, Lisa and Kira and Jennifer and Jean. Jean, are you on Facebook and YouTube?
Yeah, he's
and Nikki and Judy and Brandy. Hi, other Brandy, Jeff and Laura and Caitlin and Victoria, Adrian and Julie. Hi, other Julie, Kent and Peggy and Steve and Carol and Rachel, Jean again, Stacy, Willa, Jan, Nikki, Joe, Kira, Lee, Jean, Kimberly, Judy, Dan, and Bethany. I clicked something.
Yeah, see, remember, you got to get here early or you're going to end up in like the one note, like the rest of the song.
Heaven forbid you miss out.
And you can just be like Gene and spam both platforms. So
double dip it. Cool. And Adrian, hi, Giggles. Adrian, if you want a Ghostbusters jumpsuit, I can tell you where to get one. I got all the information.
Adam hand stitches them for people across the globe on his weekends.
That would look terrible. Well, welcome everybody. Are we excited that it is the second week in the second discussion in October, and it is spooky book, and we finally get to talk about the whole thing and how good Busta makes us feel good. How good Busta makes us feel because we're Ghostbusters. Hey,
look, ghost.
And we're Ghostbusters, and it's Ghost Tree time. And hey, it's the full book. What are we? We're not recapping.
No recap.
No recap.
We finished the book.
We made it to the end.
All the things. You can spoil the whole thing.
Spoil it. Also, spoilers will be coming.
Oh yes.
So where do we start? We've all finished the book, and I say that because I actually have. I didn't mean to say that and have it sound like I didn't. But.
We all finished. Yeah, we totally read a scary book.
Okay, so who wants to start? What do we think of the Ghost Tree?
I'll go. I don't understand why it's called the Ghost Tree. It could have just been called the tree, but whatevs. Anyway, well, I guess the tree was called a ghost tree, but why was it called a lightning tree? Anyways, that's not the point. Okay.
Okay.
The story to me was intriguing and interesting. I really wanted to read something else by this author that's not creepy. I like how she pulls you in. I like how she keeps intentionally misleads the reader to keep the mystery going. If I liked scary books, I think I would have loved this one. I imagine this is probably actually a really fun read if you like scary stuff. I don't, so I was stressed as F the whole time. But I did find some tricks that helped me get through the second half a lot easier than the first. So I can mention that later. If any of y'all like to read scary books, even though it hurts you, I did come up with some good tricks for that. But I will say, I do feel like this could have been a worse experience for me, if I hadn't enjoyed the mystery of it all. And I did, but I'm also very excited to not read a scary book again for a whole year. That's all.
But next year it's going to be extra scary.
We're going to do zombies next year.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sick next October for a month.
Yes,
what do you think,
happens.
Christy?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Yeah, no, I just really liked it. And I have some questions about the ending, and I'm ready for book 2. I wish there were a couple extra chapters just so that we could wrap a few more things up, because I was so interested in how everything affected the town and everybody.
Is there going to be a book 2?
No.
Oh yeah, I definitely do feel there were some intentional questions, but also some questions that I feel weren't. They're just loose ends. But sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad we read this book.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay.
We'll change it up. You always go first, Adam. So we're going a little backwards.
After you.
Not a lot happened in this book when you really boil down the events. And I know we talked about that last time. I was I was intrigued to finish it, and a lot of people actually called a lot of stuff. If you watch that last discussion or were here, we all pegged a lot of the stuff, between Mrs. Schneider having kids and the officer
Christy was
being
spot on.
the bad guy. I don't remember who said
Sorry.
what. I'll no, it's probably all Christy, but that's fine. But yeah, you were spot on, Christy. So not a lot happened. Like when you really boil it down, there's only like a few major plot points. You're getting the view from the entire town, which I did like. I thought that was interesting. But in the end, there are some really major flaws in this book to me, just with how the author handled it. I did like some of the intrigue. I liked the whole concept of this town being under this spell, and but we can talk about the flaws later. But I think I don't know, like most of the time I'm like, I'll forgive some plot things, but I think she got really sloppy with some devices that later on it was like, okay, don't care anymore. I'm going to return this. And I sound like I'm crapping on the book. I did enjoy it. Like overall, like it's my level of scary, spooky. Like I can handle this. Anything beyond this is probably a hard no. But yeah, there were just some things that she did with devices that I just wasn't a fan of, and not a lot happened really.
We're gonna have to get into that because I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to know what you're talking about.
Adam.
Yeah, no spoilers, Lucas.
No spoilers.
I enjoyed this book for the most part. I thought that, for me, as somebody who is a bit of a scaredy cat, this was fine. This was like Stranger Things scary level for me, and maybe not even so most of the time. And I enjoyed that. So it was definitely a page turner. So once I was able to like put my busy schedule aside and like commit to reading the book, I could, and it was easy, and I enjoyed that as well. I liked a lot of the characters, even though there was a lot not to like about a lot of these people. But what I thought was really cool was like how when everything started to unravel and the curse started to lift, like what was actually like, these relationships that were like terrible, and it seemed like a lot of them were, actually weren't. It was just like they had forgotten a lot of things that if they had remembered probably would have made things better. Like Karen hated Joe because she thought he was cheating on her, but really he was doing like a noble thing, but because of this stupid curse, it like almost ruined their whole family.
Almost ruined everybody's
whole family. And Mrs. Schneider, even though she remembered things, still was terrible. Mm-hmm. She's like, I want to forget, and then still went racist and stupid. And I liked the build. It had a lot of like building momentum as the fair happened. It reminded me a lot of Jaws and Something Wicked This Way Comes with the fair. But then the ending just left me with a lot of like questions, but not necessarily in a good way. I was just like, okay. And I found that, like I felt like Officer Hendricks was like the easy, predictable thing to say, like Officer Hendricks is going to be the monster. Officer Hendricks is him. And so like, I didn't want that to be so Chrissy remembers, I was like, it's going to be Miller. Miller's going to be it because I want it to be Miller. I don't want it to be Officer Hendricks, but it was Hendricks anyway.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. At the end, I really thought it could have been anyone. Like, I still felt like it could have been Jake, and I still felt like I even for a second thought maybe it's the mayor, because like
she said hungry.
Yeah, and you never know what the monster, like, do people remember that the monster is with them, or is it like an in and out type thing where you're like the monster one point and then you're like yourself the next?
Spoiler alert, Peggy.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Finkel and Einhorn.
So while we all guessed that it was Hendricks, like I was still wondering, is it really gonna be him? Like up until the very end.
I ruled Jake out pretty quickly after Miranda saw Lauren and Jake coming out of the woods and was like, what's she doing with him? You know, like, but not in a way that like she was jealous, like a jealous like
I
lover or
thought she
something like
was
that.
jealous, not to that.
I thought she was jealous of,
extent.
I think she was jealous that Lauren had somebody, but I never got the sense that Miranda was saying that Lauren like was with her man.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like
that's
I
fair.
ruled Jake out pretty easily. I thought it could have been the mayor, but when the mayor, yeah, like Tiffany said, I briefly thought it might be the mayor. I thought it might be the mayor until the mayor went to kill Nana to try to reset
Restart
things.
the
Like the
curse,
mayor was
yeah.
so hell bent on resetting things that I was like, well, if he's if he's the if he's the monster, then can't he just reset him himself? So I was like, well, I guess it's going to be Hendrix.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit predictable, kind of going through the fair. It's like, okay, something's going to happen at the fair. We know this. Oh, Miranda is getting totally set up for this. My biggest qualm is the ring. Just feels so damn lazy. Like, okay, 9 tickets. You have 9 tickets, and you're gonna get a ring for 5 tickets. Have you ever been to Chuck E. Cheese or a fair?
That
But
ring.
No,
it was
but-
not a prize.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the thing. Why would the kid pull the ring out? And how lazy is it for the author to be like, oh, they're going to the fair and they're going to win a prize, but it's actually the ring. And
But
that's
that
the secret ring. But if she throws it
it was
into the mouth,
David.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a real prize. Yeah, David made that appear.
he made it
That-
appear.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
feel
he
like that
did.
was in his realm of magic.
Yeah, it just feels so damn lazy. I'm sorry. Like, and then chucking it in the mouth, and then it's just like, and we're done here. Cool. That was
Throwing
fun,
it in the
guys.
mouth did seem a little bit.
It
Yeah.
it was
A little
lazy.
it was
by that part.
there were just there were several things. The ring is to me the biggest glaring. It didn't
That's right.
ruin the book for me. Don't get me wrong, but like hindsight, I was like getting in the shower and I was like, God, that was lazy of her to just like whoop, and we magically made a ring appear, and I got it for 5 tickets, and I threw it in the tree's mouth, and then this is over. So I don't know. I wanted some
It
of
did
that.
feel a little Deus Ex Machina-y, and that it was just kind of
it
like
was Adam.
it
Don't-
wasn't. It
don't
wasn't
beat
such
around
a
the bush.
such a big. It,
But
it
that's
wasn't, I
how
don't-
she vanquished the monster.
It wasn't earned. I
I
don't
was
think.
fine with the ring until she threw it in the mouth, and that's what finished everything. Because
What
I don't
makes
know,
you
I
think
was
she
buying
threw
it up
like
to
that.
that.
She is left-handed and throws like that.
You throw like that.
I do, and I'm
That's true.
left-handed. No, I'm not left-handed. I'm not a freak.
There goes our audience.
I know. Sorry. I just the ring was lazy. It was too lazy. David,
Yeah.
Well-
while I liked David was just like, I don't know how to convey this, so I'm just gonna make this all-knowing, all-seeing kid say stuff.
Yes, I agree about the ending. I feel like the ending didn't live up to the build that we had. This whole book of build,
Yeah.
and then it just like the monster felt rushed, and we still don't ever really know what the monster even is. Like the monster was never explained. It just was.
It was always there.
It's like the troll and Ernest Scared Stupid. I know I said that last time, but it still applies. It's just there. It was always there. This is always just a thing. But what
Well, and Adam, he mentioned earlier when we were talking that he wants the book of that thing, like explaining why it's there and why it's trapped and why
does it have to kill girls?
Yeah. And I think that would be a really interesting story.
I feel like
I don't
she.
think it has to kill girls. That was the terms that were initially set
It's
up.
true.
Because then at the end it says these terms
These
no
terms.
longer apply.
Oh,
That was
do-
like in order to be released from the tree, those were the terms, the conditions
Yeah.
that were set.
I feel like she had a really great short story, and she had to pad that short story to make it into a novel with all these different
I don't
perspectives.
know. Honestly, I would have read this. Granted, yes, it stressed me out, but if this book had been even longer, if I knew that it was going to have more content to give me more answers about certain things and more details about like the family, and I don't know. I would have read more, honestly.
This is an interesting point. I thought the fact that Lauren's father was the only one in decades to fight back seemed odd. I thought her connection to the original family would be what had protected her. Yeah, so Lauren is the one with the witch blood in her. Dad just kind of married into the family, but yet Dad is the one who.
I still think it's because she was who she was. It allowed it to even happen.
I think
But
so
like,
too.
I do think it's interesting that it's the dad who fought back and not the mom.
Well, you were waiting for the mom to have.
Yeah,
some
we'll
sort
go
of-
back to Mike's comment because that's exactly what I was wanting. Yes, that one right there. Like, this is what I wanted at the end. I wanted it to be her mom, like, coming into her powers and totally, like, supporting Lauren, especially after all of these memories come back and she, like, realizes what's actually been happening. And, like, I wanted those two to vanquish the demon together and not Officer Lopez.
Yeah, Officer Lopez just shot
Like, I'm gonna
Hendrix.
shoot him in the face.
And
I do wonder. I wonder what would happen if, because, well, I do think so. Nana was saying that her daughter, Lauren's mom, was closed to magic because she was just completely closed off. But now that they all know the truth, and now that she sees what is in her children, especially with David, I wonder if, like, yes, it's not in this book, but like if that does open that up to her in the future. And then what happens if Lauren ends up having a daughter one day? And now you have the 3 generations again. I don't know. That was something that I was thinking about.
This is
I know.
The dog.
Yeah.
He's doing weird things. So Martin says, I had a problem with the notion that pre-puberty Lauren was supposed to be sacrificed, but the tree monster wanted to eat / absorb / marry a post-puberty Lauren. So would the tree monster have ripped apart pre-puberty Lauren, or would he have refused and broken the curse?
I think
He was going to rip her apart, period.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
But he was like, but you're my, like, it felt like a, what did he say?
Yeah, but she
You're
said,
my density.
it sounds like you want to consume me. And he was like, well, yeah, that's how they're going to combine their powers, is he was still going to kill her.
He was going to kill her, but I don't think he was going to do what he did to the other girls. I felt like more he was going to absorb her power.
He was going to be methodical and surgical about how he dismembered her.
And we don't know that was not his intention when her name was drawn in the first place. Like, honestly, if he's been watching her ever since she was little because he knew who she was, then I do think that's what would have happened then. Also, I don't like that the date is November 12th because it means it hasn't happened yet. Now I'm going to think about it for the next couple of weeks.
What's November 12th? Oh,
That's
the girl. That's
the
when
date,
all the girls died.
The day that we all lock our doors and stay away from the woods.
It doesn't matter if you lock your doors.
Yes, it does, because my parents don't live in this house.
Martin makes a good point. She didn't have that power until post-puberty. So
she did have it. It just wasn't awakened. It was still in her blood.
But he wouldn't have absorbed it, I think.
So I think
kind of what the grandmother was saying.
I'm confused as to this whole, like, well, the science behind the absorption of powers and dismembering and all that, and the thought of he was like in love with her. I don't know.
Yeah. So Steve Moss said, I was wondering if the act of picking Lauren as a sacrifice is what broke the curse enough for her dad to go in her place.
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of things that are kind of left to the imagination, and that's definitely, like, there's a lot of whys about like.
And I think it was. I think the fact that it was Lauren allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted there. But going back to the end, the demon got murdered really, really easily. Like 3 shots with the bullets, and Hendrix is dead, and the demon goes back into the tree, and then the ring thing. But Rick Wiles asked, he said, did the ghost tree spirit jump into Jake's body? He was in a coma since the fair, and he hears Miranda's name and his eyes pop open. And I have a lot of questions about the very end, because, like, she heard Miranda at, like, the second to last line, right?
I think it's the same way that David heard her dad.
Yep. That's what I thought too.
Oh, good.
'Cause she said she's going to listen better, and all of a sudden she starts listening better, and I wonder who else she's going to hear.
All of them.
Okay,
Gross.
that's
Also,
interesting.
this is what a dog looks like when he wants to get under a blanket that isn't there.
He's seriously been like that for minutes.
He's so
Oh,
sad.
he's
Give him a
asleep.
blanket.
No,
He's got his head on the
he's just
blanket there.
waiting. Here we go. I'll get him over here.
Come here, Bailey.
He likes to be under blankets. He's a
Whoa.
baby.
We have a cat like that. She loves to be in a blanket. It is
Yeah.
the best.
She weirdo.
But why Lauren when she is of the original witch's blood? The sacrifices are supposed to be of the villagers' Irish. Well, I think, so Mayor was just drawing names. He didn't, the Mayor didn't know, I don't think,
He
right?
knew
he
that-
did know.
He did
Well,
know.
then what is wrong with you, Mayor? You did this.
But it said very clearly that no family was exempt somewhere in the book.
He's under his blanket now for everybody who.
Good. Ah.
he's-
He'll stay there for.
He'll be there for hours. He'll be
Yeah.
there till tomorrow. Give that poor baby a blanket.
Yeah.
I-
Don't worry, we got it.
I do think that's what starts the unraveling of the curse, though, is that she was not supposed to be chosen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I
so
like-
too. Mayor should have known better then.
Yeah. Well, and some people were commenting about how that was the most heartbreaking part of the book was when the memory of the parents knowing that their kid is trying to go out and unlocking the door for them and then locking it behind them.
Mhm.
That was a gut punch to me, like knowing that they knew.
Like,
Yeah.
I
I did
think
not think
I
that.
love that setup. Like the whole concept and notion of all that is really fat. Like the whole curse concept is great. It's just I feel like she got really rough around the edges in some spots.
Jake's age difference in behavior was creepy and gross and was only included for him to be a red herring.
It was
I
inappropriate. What she
agree.
was like,
I've always
14?
wanted to
He's
date you
18.
or whatever, Lauren. It's like, dude, that's kind of messed up.
He is 18. So Cinda Cooley says David was her favorite character. And David reminded me too much of the kid from The Ring. And I could not
Yeah.
get past it. What was that kid's name in The Ring?
I don't
David.
remember.
Probably David.
But isn't Lauren just going into her freshman year? So she's like in 8th grade going into freshman year?
No,
I
she's a
don't know.
freshman.
She's
I'm
Is a-
pretty sure she's a freshman, and he technically,
He graduated early, but
yeah,
he
so
is,
he would have been a senior.
um,
And that helped me a little bit. It's still gross, but I preferred in my head to think of them as a freshman and a senior, but I don't know it. That is weird, but not as weird and gross as the other one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Martin asked if the point is to inflict harm on the townspeople, why let them forget? I'm not so
Was that the point?
sure it was to inflict harm on them. I think it was to basically just destroy them inside and out. And I totally got that. Like, I don't know. This book was creepy, right? And we read it for Halloween and it's supposed to be scary, but I was just so sad the whole time. Like you could feel everybody just had something really, really heavy. And like we know what it was. Like their girls are being taken from them, but I don't know. It just kind of broke my heart while I was reading it. And I was really distracted by that when I was supposed to be scared, I think.
I think they were absolutely harmed just because the reason they were forgetting is so that this could continue to happen. And so
Mhm.
for generations, it could continue to harm the people. Like, yes, they were forgetting, but look at what the forgetting caused. It caused families to be torn apart. It caused the crazy lady to like live her whole life thinking, you know, she never got to have a child, and she did, and it was taken from her. So
Yeah,
I think that like the town would prosper. That's not the same thing as people being happy. I think everyone was secretly, look at Miranda, God, getting more of her story, that broke my heart. That girl had a awful life.
Yeah, the town was
like-
prosperous only in the way that the chili factory was keeping them.
And financially
economy
prosperous,
going.
but in every other way, not.
So Alex says, here's my problem with the mayor. His logic is if we keep the curse going, the town will prosper. But if we break the curse, what's going to happen? Sure, the town will go broke, but kids can stop dying and we can move somewhere safe.
He mentions that though in the book, is that he thought it could get worse. That he's like, at least we're only sacrificing one kid a year. What if it were many?
Hey, yeah, could be worse. I guess. More grandma. She has one
Yeah.
scene telling Lauren she's a witch, then dies.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Not just dies, gets bludgeoned
Oh yeah.
to death
Okay.
Yeah.
after
and-
her wrists get
Okay.
snapped.
Yeah, and then Jake fights the mayor and loses,
Gets run over by a car.
and then gets run over. This kid's 18 in the prime of his life. Loses the fight to the mayor. You're welcome for the emphasis. I pride myself on.
Can
emphasizing.
someone remind me? Was there ever a physical description of the mayor?
Not. I mean, he was older.
But I mean, that doesn't mean anything. And she mentions how he just turned 18 and he's super, super skinny. So unless there's a description of the mayor that I missed, I don't feel like that's totally out of the realm of possibility. You know, if
What?
this is like an adult man who maybe he does take care of himself and he works out, and he's obviously completely driven mad by rage and determination against a very scared, confused kid. I don't know. I could see that.
Marty
Yeah.
says, I like how the author fooled us with David drawing the girl in the yellow dress. We all thought it was the
Yeah.
mom's dead friend. As soon as Miranda said what Miranda was wearing, I was like, oh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got me too. I was totally fooled.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
you know.
The yellow dress.
But yeah, and then Miranda was like, she put on her best yellow dress or whatever. And I was like, here
They're
we go.
going to the fair.
I didn't actually think she was gonna die.
Oh, I did. Come on.
I know you knew from the very beginning.
She didn't have
was
a
gonna
bra
die, but-
on. What do you expect?
I'm gonna push
Right,
you
that's-
out of
No,
this
it's a
frame.
horror movie, like 80s horror movie. Like, come on.
She's 15.
Doesn't matter.
Gross.
Yeah.
The
no
curvy
bra
one
did.
without the bra is going to die.
That's bullshit.
80s horror
Well,
trope.
But this is a relatively new book, and I really thought that Christina Henry was going to go another way with it.
But she didn't.
Well, yeah, I
She
knew
did not.
Miranda was good. I knew Miranda was going to be monster food. As soon as
Monster
Miranda was obsessed with losing her virginity, I
mean,
knew she'd be a
Yeah,
goner.
it's obvious, which is why I had hoped that it wasn't going to happen.
But Kira
Yeah,
also didn't think Miranda was going to die.
Oh, and that was so sad. And especially poor Lauren. She's like, I'm going to call her tomorrow and make up. And then she did the same thing with her grandma, and people keep dying on her. So really just don't piss Lauren off and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Make sure to get an apology from her before you die. But yeah. Miranda. We can talk about Miranda.
Miranda.
She was to me, she was always destined for death in this setup. I was like,
Yeah, it's true. Like, it was a total horrible story. Like, yes, I actually did feel bad for her and understand how she was where she was. But yeah.
Of course she wants attention. Look at her parents. Her parents were abusive. They were emotionally abusive. Like, I don't know. I felt really bad for her.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her, but I also knew she was going to die.
I
I
don't
was
feel
like,
like
this-
those are mutually exclusive.
It's just facts. Mayor Watkins from Buffy. I don't get
Yeah.
that reference.
I get that reference. I get that reference.
I remember watching the
five.
entire series, but I don't remember any of it.
I made you
at
watch
this
it
point.
with me because sometimes I liked to watch it late at night and I would get a little creeped out. So I would just make him like sit there while
It was
I
a good
watched it.
show,
So I had
but I
company.
don't remember it.
It's hard to empathize with Miranda for me because she was such a trope. I don't watch enough horror movies,
But you knew.
but I know. So what was?
Speaking of-
This is just a community question. What was the scariest part of this book for those who thought it was scary? What was the part that like classic horror book scare? What was the scariest part?
Go ahead.
Dolly. Well, I didn't really. I mean, I thought it was creepy and I liked the atmosphere, but I didn't think any part was particularly scary. for me.
Oh, no, I was definitely scared a bunch. But to me, also as someone who doesn't read scary books ever, I was very shocked by the fact that you could put jump scares in a book. I didn't think that was feasible. Granted, I know that I'm a chicken, but like they were legitimate jump scares to me, which I didn't think. I was like, you're reading. How does that happen? But there was definitely some stuff that was very horrifying and stuff that was incredibly sad and stuff that was shocking to me. But the moment that legit made me want to throw the book across the room will always be Lopez looking through the camera, taking a picture of the head, and her just being like,
Hi, Bo.
That was good timing.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I love
I
you.
literally thought that came out of Talia's hand. Yeah, that was scary. But didn't that happen again when they found the other dead girls?
When she found the wallet, right? And
yeah,
the
she looked at
ID.
the
the ID
pictures.
talked to her.
I expected it that time, though. I prepared myself, so I was scared, but I wasn't so scared that I wanted to rip the book in half like before.
Yeah, I didn't have any like jump scares or anything. I think one of the better written, more true to life scares was Lopez and the crowd and the fight, because I
Rachel
felt
Lee
like that
Martin's.
one, she wrote it in a way where it kind of had a really good natural escalation, and you could kind of see the crowd slowly turning against him, and like dude's right in the middle of stuff, and you could see the curse too kind of playing its part on the crowd and on him too. It's like I could shoot this person right now, and so I think that while it wasn't like scary, I do agree with a lot of what people are saying with the viewfinder. David was like unsettling, creepy, kind of like,
Yeah, the mob
the mob
mentality
mentality stuff
was
is really
horrifying to me. But it's like you said, because there was kind of that build to it, I was kind of able to prepare myself for it, so I wasn't quite so scared.
But that was well done. I thought that scene was well written, and I could and it was creepy too, that like it's kind of in this isolated bubble and everyone else is oblivious to it. The rides are going on, and like had Lauren and David not shown up, what would have happened? So that was a better one. The monster in the end really wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm scared of. No, it just didn't really scare me.
Yeah, the monster in the end didn't do anything for me. As an aside, because the kid from The Ring's name was Aiden, but the actor who played him's name was David.
Oh my god.
There it is.
That movie terrified me. Yeah, this book didn't really ever scare me, but I will say that David was probably the most unsettling thing for me because he reminded me of the creepy kid from The Ring.
Definitely creepy, but I did still like him at the same time.
I mean, he was a good guy, but it's just when he like
Also,
is happy, and all of a sudden he's like, and then all of a sudden he goes into this mode where he's like, find the girls.
This book is the only time that I've ever intentionally broken my read ahead rule, and it was something that really helped me. Like, I know I'm not the only person who does that. Like when you get so excited, and granted, I wasn't excited, I was just reading, but when you get really excited and you're like blowing through the book, and sometimes your eyes accidentally skip ahead and you're like, wait, I have to go back so I don't miss anything. I intentionally did that through like the whole second half. Is every time I turned the page, I would kind of do a little skim and like get to the bottom, because the layout was great of like conveniently like putting those like moments like at the bottom of the second page. So I'd kind of skip ahead to be like, okay, prepare yourself for that. Now go back to the beginning. So that helped me a lot. Also, I held a cat the whole time I read, and I turned all the lights on, and I had ambient music playing. That also helped.
Actually, Miranda's death scene was pretty unsettling for me.
Yeah. I mean, the whole stalking, I agree with a lot of other people too. Like the whole stalking, creepy, like it's just creepy because like she is a child, really, still, and then B, like, yeah, just I think that creeps me out more than anything. Like just the predatory nature of that whole situation is
like the last
scary.
thought that we got from her. I want to go home. I want my mommy.
Yeah.
That made me so
Yeah.
sad.
Her mom, who is the worst.
Yeah, no, she's a child.
I mean, that's
yeah.
why it was such a brutal reminder that she is a kid. And I do wonder if that's why it was Hendrix. Like, because Laura said, the thing could only possess someone who only already had that darkness inside. It couldn't just be in anyone. It had to be
Yeah.
someone who already had that darkness. And I wonder if it was because Hendrix was a predator, and that's
Part of
there's
it.
already a predator there, and now he's a supernatural predator as well.
So, wait. Hendrix being a predator, I guess we're just supposed to assume...
We never saw any darkness in him. She just said at the end, like, the creature couldn't have been inside him unless there was some darkness already there.
Yeah, so I guess we're supposed to retroactively assume that he was already a predator, I guess.
That's the assumption that I made.
At least
Personally.
had
I
some
don't know
evil
that-
in him. Well, and it made me really sad too, like when she saw her mom talking to Hendrix and they were flirting, and she looked happy for the first time in so long.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, this whole book, just the whole thing just made me sad.
I don't think we got enough of Hendrix.
No.
I kind of loved, I know it happened really fast, but I'm mentally justifying it by saying it was the curse. As the curse started to deteriorate, all that false resentment that had been built up in relationships also started to crack and crumble. And so you got to see these lovely moments of Laura and her mom finally like seeing things from the other person's perspective and being more understanding and caring, and like realizing, oh, I've been behaving this way this whole time. I liked that. That part wasn't scary, so I liked it.
Creature latches on to recognize darkness. I'm just reading the comments.
What about
Brenda's
Billy?
death really...
Who's Billy?
Who's Billy from Stranger
I'm assuming
Things?
it's from Stranger Things.
Oh,
Billy had a thing. He had the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
had the thing.
Yeah, the thing.
He had the thing. That's not a spoiler, but it's
mullet.
the thing.
he had
Yes.
the mullet.
He
Go watch
did.
Stranger Things. It's good,
Yeah, it'll remind you a lot of the ghost tree.
but it's better.
So, Lucas, when you were talking about how you initially liked the book, you were talking about. You wanted to elaborate on some things?
Oh no, it was the ring. The ring
Okay.
was my
Billy
that
was
was my-
Tad's friend.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Tad, I forgot about him. What kind of a name is
Tad.
Tad? What is that short for? Tadule?
Don't. What if there's someone in the book club named Tad?
Well, then they can tell us what Tad is short.
Tad is short
Yeah.
for?
Theodore?
Taddy?
Maybe.
I could see it being the Theodore. Maybe.
Tad.
Jeff, that's a great question. I actually saw a review about it. Someone arguing whether or not this was young adult. And I know we've had this conversation so many times before
Thaddeus.
about what constitutes a young adult novel. I will say I would not want my teenager to read this book. Not at the age of 15. But that's just me. Apparently, I am a very conservative parent because I read a horrifying article the other day about parents who let their kids watch Squid Game, and I was blown away, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Let's go with that. Tad is short for Tatum.
Cadillac. Nice. Mike got it.
Mm.
Everyone else was wrong. Mike won.
Squid Game.
Have not seen it.
Nope, that's not what we're talking about.
This book is a lot like Squid Game.
It's really not.
Okay, so this might just be me just because I know that I was stressed the whole time I was reading. And so, like, the anxiety level of having to read, Like, to me, yes, a lot of people say this is just a creepy book. It's not scary. To me, creepy is still scary. It falls under the umbrella of scary. So
It's the same umbrella. I'll give you that.
So maybe the high anxiety level made it feel like more stuff was happening. But to me, maybe not a lot of like huge events happened in the book. But I kind of feel like there was still a sufficient amount of stuff. It was just a lot of internal things that happened.
It was internal and it was backstory. The way she told this story, again, I think she had a really good concept for a short story, and she's like, oh, I know what I can do. I can give the perspective of all these different townsfolks, and it'll beef up my word count. Not in a bad way. Like I really liked some of the seeing all that, but like to me, yes, there weren't a lot of like major plot points, but it's like when you really boil down what happened, the girls died at the beginning, then they went to the fair, and then it was the climax, and it was the end. I needed more. I needed more.
I don't know that for me, I
needed chases, and I needed more.
I do think there was something missing at the end, like this. Like Bobby says, it needed more wrap up, like what happened to the journalist. And what's going to happen now that the story gets out that the girls here went missing for decades, and also just how the town survives knowing their history. And I'm pretty sure the town is just everyone's going to move away and the town's going to die. But also, I didn't think anything that we did get in the book was unnecessary. I didn't feel like I could edit this book down. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed all the different perspectives, and I thought it added a lot.
Yeah, I think if anything, I needed more.
Yeah.
Like the ending, like the journal. Let's talk about the journalist, because like, remember how excited I was?
You were so
about
excited.
The journalist, and that really just went to nowhere.
I mean, he wrote an article in the Chicago Tribune, so I mean that was a big deal. But yeah,
he did. But then, like,
they wanted him to die or something.
He just came in, learned a few things, wrote an article, and peaced out. He was not a major character.
I think we deserve another chapter of what he contributed to, because there must be some follow up to that.
So that makes all of that. What this ending made me think of is like a series finale in a way, how quite often you don't get that wrap up. They want to end things in a way that still kind of leaves you with questions, that leaves you to wonder what happens. And a lot of people aren't going to be satisfied with that. And a lot of people are like, yeah, thank you for not spelling the whole thing out for me. But I do think it would have been really easy and nice for her if she did put in more information about the town's future or the reporters or where people go. It would have just been a nice little epilogue. Like, I wouldn't need another chapter. I think just a little epilogue to give me like an overview. Yeah, just something like that would have been really nice. But honestly, the ending didn't really bother me. She almost kind of tried to do that a little bit with Lauren's monologue. But I think I will say the climax point, like the battle, that like right into it. But the ending with the scene in the hospital, it kind of felt like she was trying to do that a little epilogue moment with Lauren talking to
There's also Lopez at the grocery store, which I think she was kind of doing that with too, because they were kind of all walking around a little aimlessly.
God, can you imagine the trauma? Like how you never how do you live? How do you do anything?
The reporter should have had a scene where there should have been two scenes, because she always gives kind of two perspectives, and then the second perspective's like, that's what happened. There should have been a scene with something about the mayor and the reporter again, like a reprisal, and then you should have seen it from the reporter's viewpoint of his, because they play up his Fiero so much. His Fiero should have broken down or something, and Officer Hendricks should have been there at night helping him, and we should have had another death. Like, it needed more of those like 80s build up, like, ooh, then there was this death, and ooh, then there was
this.
Want
a slash? You want this to be a slasher film?
It needs to be more slasher to keep it more.
I agree. I actually thought that the reporter was going to get it, but he got nothing except for probably a promotion.
Yeah,
come on,
got a good story out of it.
Setup. perfect
But,
setup.
I
The
thought that
cop's
like
coming to help you change your tire or something, and then next thing you know, his mouth's opening, and like that's
So to
not
me,
a
that
cop,
feels more predictable, though.
but that's
well,
what I wanted.
I thought at least we
It-
would have had some conflict between like this reporter who is digging a little too deep, and like the people who want to keep it covered up, like the mayor. Like if like that just yeah. The reporter could have died saving Miranda, says Martin.
Oh, Alex had a good idea. The epilogue should have been the reporter's article
Ooh,
with like
I
a
would have
poll.
liked
like that.
that. That
I
would
like
have been
that,
nice.
Alex.
Yeah.
That's good. Good call. And I agree
All
with
right.
Joe. More chili related violence.
Alex, write it. Write it and put it in the lounge. I want to read it. Okay, so I do have a unrelated question. Purely on personal opinion, I'm wondering, Lopez mentions when he sees Lauren and David at the fair that he notices the electricity arcing away from them. And when David comes and saves him from tiki racists, that David has a halo. And I'm wondering, does he see these things because he is not fully under the curse, or because Lopez was also shown, the girls communicated to him in the beginning? Is all of this happening to Lopez just because he's not fully under the curse, or is it happening to him because he also has something supernatural in his blood?
Maybe he
Is
had
there
his
a
man
reason?
period.
No, shush. I'm asking a question. I genuinely want to know, have y'all, like, just in your personal opinion, like, did anyone think it would be one way or the other, or did it occur to you? Like, I don't know. It was something that I thought about after the book was over, and I was like, wait, why him? Was
I
it
think
just the curse, or was it something more?
I don't know. I think it'd be nice to think that there's something more, but like if there is, it just adds to the list of like unexplained things that we should have had maybe more of a clue to. Like I want to say I'd like to think that it's because he just was new.
Yeah, I think it's because he was an outsider. Because the curse clearly has a thing against outsiders. Because they went after Lopez at the fair, and then they went after Lopez's family because they're not part of the town.
Mm.
So I really wonder if it's that.
But other people come to the town. Like, other people have moved to the town and then stayed. So that's why I don't know. I kind of just, because that's mentioned.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people come to the town. Otherwise, they'd all just die off eventually. But once they come and they fall under the curse, then they stay. So I don't know. I think I like the idea. I want to read a spinoff about Lopez's.
Yeah, he did arrive after.
Yeah, I think
A murder.
And when he was seeing all these things, it was especially after the curse had started to fade after the dad got eaten, but especially after like things really went off the rails and everybody was sort of falling out from the curse. Although that doesn't really explain. I don't know. Well, okay, help me explain why these people fell under like mob trances. What was that?
The curse.
Yes.
I think we can safely say it's because his family came after the curse is already starting to break down. And so in that way they're like super, super outsiders. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, but like the mob trances, what part of the curse is that?
A part that she didn't get to describing yet.
That's true. This curse, I will say, this curse had many, many, many layers that were never defined.
There's some fine print.
Yeah. Oh, so do y'all think demon is gone for good, or is it just back under the hill and the curse is broken?
Yeah. Are those little shoots new little baby ghost trees? Ghost sprouts? The ghost grass. Oh, well.
Nice, Dan.
Oh.
I want someone to draw the tiki races. That deserves a.
Mob was Schneider's influence, so I thought she was witch descendant, like a cousin.
Could be, maybe. But then what happened at the fair?
But then her daughter got it, so
Or is the curse like using her as a Tesla coil, basically, because she's got so much hate, and so it's almost like the Adam, if you've ever seen it, Ghostbusters 2, and the slime,
oh
the
no, I
river of
haven't.
slime.
I think
You
I need
should
to
check that out. There's a movie called Ghostbusters 2, and
They
there's
made another
some
one?
slime. Yeah, yeah, and it's like that.
Did you know this?
And it affected people negatively, and if they had the negativity, it
Huh.
amplified it that much more. So
there's a river of slime underneath the town.
yeah, check it out.
Cool, I will.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
So the ghost tree, it disappeared, right? They went into the ground.
Yes, but then there's some sprouts.
Maybe they're good sprouts.
Everything that has happened before will happen again. Wait, what was it from Battlestar Galactica? All of this has happened before. All of this will happen again.
I mean, if it we don't know what it's going to grow into. Jake opened his eyes. We don't know anything else. If Lauren has a daughter, does that mean anything when it's 3 generations again? I don't know. I do feel like those questions were intentionally left unanswered. But yeah, other stuff like with the reporter and everything, those to me just seem like loose ends.
Loose ends, Christina, not you.
Sorry.
I got it.
I would never call you Christina publicly. Somebody said that it's Groot. Peggy said it is Groot.
Oh,
How
something
dare
that-
you.
We'd love
something y'all had mentioned that we should talk about this time from last time is I think it's Emily said something about certain parts of sentences will be capitalized. And I don't know anything about this because I listened to the audiobook.
Yes.
So yeah, I meant to mention this last time, but if anyone else noticed it, to me it seemed very prevalent and heavy in the first half of the book, and then not so much in the second half.
Agreed. I was watching for it and I didn't see it.
Which seems honestly really strange to me because it seemed honestly kind of abundant in the first half, and then
Noticeable.
Yeah, and then where did it go? I don't know. Like, I thought that was kind of weird. I mean, I guess I wanted, like, if you're going to do that, I think I would prefer consistency, like, all the way through the book. And he's rubbing on the back of my head.
Cat's messing with
just
your focus.
hungry. He doesn't like you.
Stop. No, don't put your butthole on camera.
Yeah, that changes his rating of this live stream.
So I don't know. Like, I guess I would have wanted it to be more like consistent through the book, but then also I would have wanted there to be a reason why. So to me, it was weird that it was just utilized in the first half. I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking out for it too and didn't notice. And I found myself when I got to a certain point, I was like, wait, I haven't seen that again, except for when he was mentioned.
Yeah.
He was always in capital H.
Yeah, that came through in the audiobook.
Yeah, I just mostly noticed the hims and the he's.
I wonder if there's something that we're missing.
Now I'm very upset because I forgot about the reporter.
Yeah, now it's another
Yeah.
swing and a miss.
He was just, I do feel like I get it. He was a device, but he was built up too much and then not utilized.
Come on, he had a Fiero. He was asking for it.
He had his own chapters.
Yeah, like he was
He
total
did have his own
yuppie,
chapters.
like yuppie douche canoe Chicago reporter. Like
I think he was a necessary and great device to move the plot forward. But like Alex mentioned, a great way to tie him back in to just close that loose end, but also give us answers is, if an epilogue written like as his article, that would have been fantastic. That would have been great.
Christina, we got some suggestions for you in the revised.
It's not too late. It's not too
edition
late.
of
Put it
The
on your
Ghost Tree.
blog. I'll read it.
Yeah.
So, are y'all interested in reading any more Christina Henry? She has several other books.
Are they all scary?
I think 1 or 2 of them are scary, but then she does a lot of retellings. I know she did like Alice in Wonderland and The Little Mermaid and a prequel to Peter Pan.
So it's like The Witcher.
It's like based on Captain Hook, I guess, as a kid, maybe. And I think they're all a little darker.
Captain Hook was a kid. Oh, I guess that's Lost Boy.
Yeah, it's Lost Boy. I'm gonna read all of them. Saying.
I think she's a good writer. Like I think her writing's engaging and it moves quickly and nicely.
Mhm.
It's just I just think there were just some misses in my book for where I thought I just had some different expectations.
I would like to read something else from her that's not scary, for sure. I don't know that I would like a retelling, because honestly, those have never been that intriguing to me. But that's just a personal preference of it's not something like I've intentionally stayed away from. It's just not ever jumped out at me as like, ooh,
Yeah,
I want to see this from someone else's point of view, or I want to know. To me, it's like what Disney's doing right now with the villain stories, like Maleficent and Emma. Like, I'll watch it if it's on TV, but I didn't like buy it. I didn't, I didn't pay extra to
yeah,
watch
they're digging
it, I
deep,
guess.
digging deep there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd rush to read another Christina Henry book, but
It looks like from the comments that it gets very dark, and
Yeah, it looks like they might all be.
if
dark.
I'm gonna read,
we got
Well,
a section for that.
yeah, if I'm gonna read anything outside, it's gonna be something more sci-fi, fantasy, fun than dark. I don't like dark.
Oh, so it's not Little Mermaid.
Oh, my bad.
Oh.
Oh,
See,
Yeah.
this
this
that
is
actually
it's the Greatest Showman.
that actually is a little more interesting to me.
Okay, okay.
Just curious.
So, would you?
Yeah.
You already said you.
I'm
would.
gonna.
You're gonna
Mhm.
today.
Can
No.
you start with the mermaid one and then let me know what you think? Will you read so fast, and then I'll just know if I should read that one.
I do have such a big TBR list that I have to be selective about what I put on there.
Yeah, I was happy this was a one-off as well.
I literally have like 2 whole rectangles back here that I have not gotten to, and it's just getting worse, and it's all y'all's fault. Specifically Christy. It's Christy's fault.
I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. In fact, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Christy's basically a dealer.
I have
She used to
like
be one
40 some
of
audiobooks
cards.
in my library now.
Careful.
Yeah, let's not put that on the internet.
Well, look, we did it. We made it through Scary Month. And we're
Yeah.
still alive.
Good job, guys.
Good job, Talia. You made it. Look at you.
I didn't
Would you look at
cry. I never cried. I did buy 2 pints of ice cream though, just in case I needed them.
So now that we're through Scary Month, what do we have to look forward to in November? Ah, yes. Probably the hardest to pronounce book title we've had so far in Literarily Wasted.
Giada it.
Piranesi.
There you go. Piranesi by Susanna Clark.
And then look out for our next book poll for December. We're going to be doing graphic novels.
Graphic novels. And yeah, we left the poll up. At the time we called it Piranesi was the winner, but then the Andy Weir book jumped it a little bit.
Really?
They're tied. I think if you look at the poll right now, they're exactly
Huh.
same numbers.
It was a very close race.
It was really close.
Sometimes we have to make the calls.
Piranesi won by the time we had the first book discussion, so that's what we're going with.
Boom.
Thank y'all for voting. We appreciate, especially when it's close like that. It's exciting to watch. Also, be on the lookout for Secret Santa. We're going to do that again. And here's the thing: I know that things are crazy, and that don't expect let's do it with the expectations that whatever we send to people is not going to get there for like 10 months.
Yeah,
So, like,
that might happen.
The secret Santa, secret Valentine's Day, whatever it ends up being.
Secret Valentine's Day.
It's
You
gonna-
know, that would work.
It's gonna go, but that we're gonna do that, and it's gonna go probably start for signups on November 1st, if I remember to set it up by that time. So
That's
The
Monday.
fact that y'all are already talking about Christmas is giving me acid reflux.
yeah, well, you should take some Prilosec for that. But yeah, so Secret Santa, be on the lookout. I'll post it in the lounge on the page, and sign up if you wish to participate. It is not mandatory by any means. So it's going to be like we did last year. And if you sign up and you get somebody, please
follow through. Yes.
That's all we ask.
We had to take care of one book club member last year who did not receive their thing, and so we just took care of them.
We found out after the fact that there might have been an issue with another book club member. And y'all, please, if there's ever anything like that, please feel comfortable telling us and talking to us, because obviously if we had known, we would have taken care of that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. Can't wait. So I'll set that up. So I'll put a reminder in my phone to set that up, so that we can go ahead and then be on the lookout for the announcement.
And I will apologize. I said we were going to do adventures in reading, and this month just was a kick in the pants.
Quite a doozy.
With all
I was
sorts
waiting
of
for you
stuff,
to say
so-
kick in the where.
Kick in the where. But we
in the
are,
butt.
we are working on a new website, and that's gonna be way nicer. So don't judge our current website, because I haven't been updating it at all.
It's still awesome.
It's okay.
He's like mean to himself. Lucas designed our entire website all by himself, and it's fantastic.
It's
and the next one's going to be
Squarespace. It's
even
not
cooler. Look, I don't know
No
how
pressure.
to do anything. I have a website. If y'all want to go see it, it's talialyn.com, and it says under construction, and it said under construction for the past 5 years.
Yeah, I have a website as well and I've never done anything with. And
I will say
still have the domain.
the new site is going to be way nicer. And if y'all have any quotes, if anyone would like to share
Ooh,
just a little, it can be short. I
like
need
a
some
review.
Yeah, like
of
what
the
do you think of the
club.
club? Do you
Positive reviews
a positive?
only.
Yeah, positive.
If you give a negative review,
I won't put it on the
I'm
website.
it will not
We'll
go
read
on the
it, and we'll
website.
cry.
but
It's not
in
gonna go
all
on the website.
seriousness,
Yeah.
if you have any like if you want to share a little tidbit, like a little tiny snippet, go ahead and email us at literarily.wasted@gmail.com. That may make its way on the site. I've got some little places I can slot some stuff in it. And we are what will happen with the website is it will roll out in November, partially just because our old website's going to renew in November. So we're going to flip the switch. And then we're going to be adding some capabilities to the website after it launches. So work in progress, but a good work in progress. And it will be
We're
easier for me to
all a work in
update. We are
progress.
all a work in progress.
That's
Yeah, I'm
real life.
Finished.
You've peaked.
And
You're done.
we do have Discord. More and more people are kind of finding Discord. So if one of y'all
Not
could
me.
share the link, we do
Just
have
to be honest.
we
I
do
don't
have
know
some
how it
cool
works.
stuff going on in Discord that we're not really releasing out. But if you so stumble upon something that's new on Discord and you want to take a listen or read, feel free.
It's where Dark
That's
Book
all I'm
Club
gonna
is
say.
too, if you like.
And Dark Book Club is there as
darkness.
well.
If you like being stressed and afraid, go to
the Dark Book Club.
That's not
Oh,
good
I
pitch,
read a
I'm
second
sorry.
book this month.
Hey, Lucas.
I read 2 books this month. I
Oh, you
read
did?
my first Goosebumps book because it was October, and it was called Say Cheese and Die. I give it
That's like Goosebumps #1.
7 Goosebumps.
Yeah, that's classic.
Out of 8.
Out of 10, I guess. 7. I had 7 Goosebumps.
They're called Goosebumps.
Yes.
Oh,
That's all I have.
Goosebumps.
And just a reminder, there's 4 more days?
Until Christmas?
No, of Leanne's
Oh yeah, Leanne.
Yes.
what's it called?
Leanne's been reading this book to
That book,
everybody.
the Lonesome October book. I can't remember what the name of it is. Someone help.
Help.
A Night in the Lonesome October?
But
Something.
yes, Leanna's
Go check it out. All the videos are there, and I think she's been naming them so that you can find them.
Cool.
Yeah, we got lots of cool stuff going on. There's going to be lots of cool stuff going on for the rest of the year, and then wait till 2022. It's going to be
What?
extra
Oh, yeah.
lit.
Oh
No,
yeah,
don't say
yeah.
it
We're
yet.
putting. You have to put it in the ether.
Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
be
It's gonna
extra
say,
lit.
it's gonna
We're gonna-
2022.
Oh, that's right. On February. What did
Oh
you say?
yeah, we should.
Oh, this
do,
is a great
okay,
idea.
Okay,
Okay.
Real quick, last thing. February 22nd is on a Tuesday. I'm fairly certain. So I'm just putting it out into the universe that I'm pretty sure we should have some kind of party on Tuesday of the Toost month on the Tuesday Toost of the Toost month on Tuesday of 2000 Tuesday Toost. Wait, 2000 Tuesday Toost.
Yes. Toost party.
Toost
you,
party
you probably just spit all over your computer.
Good. That's good.
in HD.
Toost party. The
It's our
Tuesday
holy day.
meet up. Yeah, we have to go start knocking on people's doors and be like,
Oh, it's Leanne's birthday.
oh, what?
Your Toost birthday.
The second, or is it the 22nd? Because there's more Toosts. Or do you do both?
No,
Oh,
God,
man.
It's
slow
just so
down.
many. It's so many.
No,
Tuesdays.
it's only the Tuesday Toost.
The Toosty Toost.
The Toost is a Wednesday.
Uh,
The Toosty Toost.
It needs to be the Tuesday Toost, so it's a Tuesday.
Ah, ha, ha.
My cat just looked at me like, "What is?"
It was meant to be. Also, dog update.
he got hot.
Oh,
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
you gotta stick a leg out. That's what you do. You stick a leg out, it close you down, and then when the monsters are just about to get you, you pull the leg back in.
Mm.
Yes. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. As always, we had a blast discussing the Ghost Tree with you, and we look forward to talking about Piranesi. On,
Y'all go invite a friend to join you for Piranesi.
yes, tell everybody
Yeah,
you
Tell
know.
everyone about
We
Look
have the
Lily.
best book club on the internet.
Oh
the
should be
gosh,
part
Toost
of it.
Fest.
Mike's not gonna make it.
Oh,
Mike
yes. We need to live stream this.
Ooh.
Mike,
I
you're
would
coming
watch
over.
that, Mike. I would watch.
In fact,
I would watch you stream.
This
that.
is not proof that you can't make it. It just means that you need
No,
to learn how to
I
multitask.
think we figured out what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
just gonna. We'll come to you, Mike, and we're gonna film it live.
We'll have doctors on standby. Your wife is a
Count.
nurse. We got this.
Oh, I could
Yeah.
destroy tacos right now.
All right. Stay tuned. More literally wasted goodness coming up. Good night, everybody.
Good
See you in November.
Yay!
Woo.